Hello, welcome to part number 3. Today we're going to look at if else and actually making decisions. Everything up to now has just been storing and comparing values. Today is the first video where the code actually decides something and does a different thing depending on the answer. So let's get to that. So here's the syntax. If now let's Control S to save and run. Oops. Did not run because this is not true. So happy mistake. Now let's save. There. Too expensive. So this is the entire concept. If a condition in parentheses and then a block of code inside curly braces that only runs when this condition is truthy. And this is why last video we saw truthy and falsy. Whatever is inside this parenthesis gets evaluated down to true or false. So this does not look like evaluation, but as we saw last video, any string is evaluated to true. So if I save, prints too expensive, and an empty string, if I save, nothing prints, right? All right, let's move on. Price 3. If the price is bigger than 4, then too expensive. Else reasonable. Save. Today I am on fire. Oh my God. There we go. Save. There. Reasonable. So what happened? Now with if and else, exactly one of these two blocks of code, this one or this one, will run. Never both and never neither. Only one of them will run. And when you've got more than two outcomes, else if change them together. So let's do that. Let me delete all these and do a. So now what happens if price is less than 2, then do this block, right? Console log and then too cheap. I don't know. And then let me just but here we need else if, and then if price is less than 4, reasonable. If it's less than 6, then too much. And then last else block console.log way too much. All right, so let me save this. Way too much. So what's going on here? So JavaScript checks each condition from top to bottom and stops in the first one that's truthy and skips the rest. Of course, if it gets to the end, this always evaluates to true, right? So if it's equal to 6 or more, this one is false, so it then prints way too much. So if I put here whatever 100, it's always way too much, right? And now let's see which one gets. So if it's less than 2, like 1, too cheap, and then stops here, so it does this and then ends. And for example 3, reasonable. All right, so you get the idea. We also have and, or not. For example, when we need to compare if something or something else, or and. Let's do examples better. Let's do examples. So const is open, and this will be true. Const has beans, true. And then if is open and has beans, to this block. Console.assert log. We can open. Save. There. We can open. So what this symbol is doing, this means both sides has to be true. So it's an and. If this and this, then evaluates to true if both of them are true. If one of these is false, then nothing happens. Okay, now let's do another example with or. Const has cache, false. Const has card equals true. Then if either has cache, and then this is a special symbol, 2 vertical lines, has card. If either of these, it's either cache or card, we don't care, either of those, then we can do something. And in this case, we're gonna console log you can pay. You can pay. Here, auto did double quotes for me. Did you notice? The prettier, this prettier. And then the not, it's not, I don't know what it is. Let me just do an example. Const is close equals false. So it's open, right? So if this is false, so this will not run because is close is false. So it's true. So it's open. This is very weird for me always. So we console the log, and then come on So this equal sign does not belong here. So if, let me say Control S, nothing outputs because this is false, right? So then there is this little sign which flips this entirely. It's not is closed. So if this is false, it flips it to true. Come on in. So makes sense, right? If is closed is true, then we don't come in. So we ask ourselves a question: if it's not closed, so if not is closed, so if is closed is not, I don't know. You figure it out. All right. So a useful thing about these ors or ands is they don't just return true or false. They return one of the actual values you gave them. So and returns the first falsy value it finds or the last value if none are falsy. And returns the first truthy value it finds. So this matters. So here's an example because this is used a lot. So order, so my order is equals to null. Let's say it came back from our database as null because there was no order. So then drink equals order, but or this is like putting a default, because if our order came back null, so then just do house blend. Does this make sense? Because this falls into the or returns the first one that is truthy, and as we saw in the last video, null is falsy, so returns house blend. So then if we do something with our drink, in this case we are gonna console log it, drink, and we save here house blend. Oh, house blend, there, house blend. Now this is an opportunity to do another example. If when going a little bit back to the else if gets the chains get too tedious, there's another one called switch, like for here latte, and then our drink order is latte, and then our drink is either order or house blend, and then switch, and then we do drink, and then our block, and then case latte, and then here's the syntax. And then we do this. We console.log, I don't know, I don't know, order is a latte, I don't know, and then we do case house blend, and then console.log log order is house blend, and just for example purposes, case americano, case americano, console.log americano, please, americano coming up. I don't know. So we have a whole bunch of cases and we need to output something depending on the case, right? We could do this with if this, if this, if this. Whoops. I forgot to add this break. So I guess it also goes from top to bottom. Am I missing something else? The order is latte, but what happens if my drink is null? Order is a house blend because it's either our drink is either what's specified here or house blend. So house blend gets passed in here. So then we only get order is house blend, right? And then if our order is Americano coming up. All right, so I was missing the little break. So self-explanatory, right? Switch checks drinks against each case, top to bottom. And it uses a strict comparison. So remember the break thing I forgot. If you forget the break, this doesn't work. Printed all of them. All right. Another very useful thing or very used thing when you read code from someone else, tutorials and stuff later on, is this ternary operator. Ternary. Ternary operator. So it's an if else that fits in one line. So let me do an example. Const price is equal to 5 berries. Const is pricey is equal to, and then price greater or equal to 5, and then here's the syntax. Well, we already started with the ternary because we already doing the comparison here. So then we do this, and then we put what we want to return if it's true, yes, and then colon, and then what if it's false, no. Console.log is pricey. There, yes. And if this were, for example, 4, save, no. So it reads like this: condition, question mark, what to do if true, colon, what to do if false. That's it. Now, I think you can nest ternaries inside. So if this is false, do this, and here another ternary, but then the syntax for me is just messy and I do not like it. For me, I'm not that greedy with space, so I just do the traditionals else, if, right? So for me, these are very good when it's a one-liner, but they are very, very used out there. So this is it for conditionals, if, else, making decisions. So next time we are gonna look at loops. So this is it for this one. Thank you for watching and see you on the next one.